Hey guys, what's going on? We're the Kings of Olympia. I'm John.
I'm Egan.
And this is our origin story. This is our introduction. If you're new to the page, we're teenage bodybuilders.
We're really excited about this, by the way.
Yep, and we just kind of to clear the water. First thing we're gonna say is there are two people manning this YouTube page and our Instagram page, Kings of Olympia. You ever send us a message? You're probably gonna hear from me first, but you'll know who you're talking to. We'll make that known.
He mainly runs the DMs. I mainly run the YouTube thing as of now.
Yep, and if you ever see photos of me on the Instagram page, that's because I'm making them. That caption is mine. You see photos of him, that's his caption.
Yep. There's two people, and we get the reason why we felt the need to clarify this is because we get people direct messaging us all the time saying you have such a nice body or something like that, but it's like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, there's two of us.
And then sometimes we'll get people who know it's two of us and they're like, which one am I talking to?
Yeah,
so we'll send them a picture of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys who are knowledgeable and know that there are two people on this page.
Yep.
I personally kind of thought that it was obvious that there was because they're two different body types.
Yeah,
different muscle insertions.
We do not look that similar.
I'm the guy with the weird chest insertion on the right pec.
I'm the one with the body hair.
Yep. I don't have any body hair.
Well, on
my legs.
On my legs as well, because we shave our legs. That's another little known fact about the Kings of Olympia.
Yep.
Anyways, our origins, why we started. However, how many years ago it was, I was probably just 15. He would have been 13.
I was about to turn 13.
Yeah. So wow. Wow.
So long.
That's crazy. Anyways, then that means I might have been.
We're going down memory lane right now.
Yeah. Anyways, it was at a youth group, and somehow we started arm wrestling.
And the goal of we really liked to arm wrestle because we liked to see who was stronger. Some days he won, some days I won. The reason why we started lifting, I think, was because we wanted to outdo each other.
Oh, absolutely. It was a friendly competition, and I mean, heck, the fact that I was being beaten in arm wrestling, or almost beaten in arm wrestling, by someone that was 2 years younger than me, my male pride wouldn't have it.
And if you think about it now, we still have somewhat of a friendly, healthy competition.
Oh yeah, there has to be
between lifting because that's what keeps us motivated.
Absolutely.
It's like one guy he'll bench something heavy, and then I can't make it, and then I'll bench something heavy, I'll pass him up, and then he can't make me, and vice versa.
Oh,
or
absolutely.
Anything at all. It's a friendly competition. I recommend anyone have that with their training partner. It's almost a necessity if you want to progress.
Because even in the back of your head, you're always going to be competitive with whoever you're lifting with.
Yep.
That's just a given.
Yep.
Second thing, how long we've been lifting for. So nearly 3 years. At least for me, it's been nearly 3 years. My first year
3 for me.
Was a lot of bull crap, not really knowing what I was doing. As I mentioned in our misconception video, link in the description, I was doing dumbbell curls with water gallons that weighed anywhere from 4 to 7 pounds. And then I used that on a broomstick to make my barbell. Then I finally got a weight set, but even when I had that weight set, I still didn't really know what I was doing. A lot of ego lifting, heavy weight, and predominantly bicep and chest training.
I didn't really get serious until the year and a half after I started working out. So what I started out with was I had started to talk about how I was getting interested in lifting I was talked about it to my parents, my grandparents, and then one Christmas, I forget if it was parent or grandparent, but they got me a 40-pound weight set. I was like, they were vinyl weights. I was like, holy crap, this is the gateway to buffness.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, all right, let's get to this. So then I started doing curls, and that was all I did. And that's one of the reasons why sometimes you'll see in a lot of my pictures, some people will comment, like on one of my most recent front double bicep videos or photos, someone said that was my strongest pose. And the reason why is because all I trained was arms, like all I did, but it was mainly bicep. It wasn't ever tricep. So I started out 40-pound vinyl weight set, almost 13 years old, and I didn't know what I was doing until about a year and a half into it. And then it was basically the same story for both of us. And then we got serious about it, and then we started making some real progression. So moral of the story, get serious while you still can.
Absolutely.
It's never too late unless you're dead.
Yeah.
So anything can happen in life too. So
unless you puke, faint, or die, keep going.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Absolutely. Third one, where we lift. Okay, so we're 100% homegrown. That's our hashtag, 100% homegrown. So we lift at home. And we lift at his home. We lift at my home.
Gym's back there.
I mean, heck, there's a bench press in there, there's an elliptical, there's a treadmill, and there's a lot of barbells and a lot of dumbbells and just a lot of free weight. And that's really all you need. But then I lift at my home. I have a half lift or a half squat cage with an Olympic, so a half Olympic squat cage with the bench press and a sweet leg extension attachment to it. But that's what we've been doing. So we don't really need to go to a gym unless we wanted to get really into the accessory lifts. But don't ever tell yourself that you need to go to a gym to start lifting weights or to be a bodybuilder. You have to go to a gym. This is simply not true. And really, in the beginning, he and I, we started out with bodyweight exercises. You know, eventually you're going to outgrow that, and you can get creative with it, but there's really not a lot you can do.
You're going to hit a brick wall eventually, in other words, where you don't progress any further with bodyweight exercises.
So then the next question, why we lift? This has changed over the years for me. I know the beginning, honestly, was to be more attractive, to attract someone, to be impressive to the opposite sex or whatever, but now I realize that I'm going to get to the point one day, hopefully, where I'm just so big that I may not be the most aesthetically appealing person. Like, you know, you're always going to have those people that are going to look at the image, the body type that I want to look like one day, and they're going to go, ew, that's too big. For me, I don't care anymore. I'm going to have to stick at it. And why I lift now is honestly to show others that it's possible, to be a motivation, to really just get out there, and because it's so mentally refreshing for me, and whatnot, like, this is therapy for me.
So for me, the reason why I started lifting was, thinking back now, taking a trip down memory lane, the reason why I started lifting was because there was this girl, and she liked me and I liked her, and this is back in my, 12-year-old self. I was like, oh man, I need to get really buff, because my arms are tiny. I was like, okay, if I can get buff, if I can get really ripped, I'll look better, and then she'll really like me. That's what I thought. But the thing is, there's a misconception out there that when you're buff, you get girls. No, when you're buff, you don't get, it's not the girls at the gym or the girls at the pool that are like, wow, you have such a nice body. It's the dudes who are like, bro, how'd you get so big?
It's not even in, like, the wrong aspect.
Yeah.
You're going to have bros that are just going to be like, yo, dude, your chest
is phenomenal.
Man, you're just crushing it out there. Girls, they care. Then again, they don't. It depends on the girl, but for the most part, you're going to go in the gym, and you're going to get a lot of good gym bros.
Yep.
And if you're lucky, you'll get a gym chick, but don't count on it.
And, some other reasons why I started was after I got through the phase of working out for a girl, it was because I wanted to better myself. I was tired of being that skinny kid. I hated it, I wanted to fill out my shirts. I wanted to get big. And then I found out that in high school, my dad benched 250, 275, around there as a max bench. I was like, holy crap, that's like 200 pounds. And that's
no, that's like 250, 270.
That's like 250, 270. But back in the day, I was like, that's like 200 pounds because all I was thinking about was that's a lot of weight.
Oh yeah.
But now, I look back and I'm thinking to myself, there was a lot of misconceptions I had, which, by the way, if you haven't seen our misconceptions video, that is linked in the description. But I'm getting a little off topic here, but I basically just started because I wanted to impress a girl, and now I do it purely for self-betterment. It is very flattering if you get someone's attention and they're like, wow, you look great. It makes you feel good inside, even when a guy says, man, you're looking phenomenal. We get direct messages from a lot of you guys out there who are like, man, you guys have really great physiques. They'll say your arms look amazing or something like that. Like we'll like I posted a picture on KingsOfOlympia. It was of a back double bicep, and he tells me, he's like, dude, your back is gorgeous or your back is beautiful or something. And it's not because there's any kind of gay part there. It's purely because that's what gym bros do. If you don't feel like you can have that with your gym bro, you're probably with the gym. You're probably with the wrong gym bro.
Yeah, you don't have a real gym bro.
Exactly.
Okay, so we already covered so our fitness goals and our page goals. My fitness goal for the past year or so has always been to be as strong as possible, to be as strong, not necessarily as big, but to be as strong and as big as possible. The page goal is to grow just get a name for ourselves in the fitness industry, maybe start a brand, and ultimately just be able to help and motivate other teenagers like ourselves that had no idea what we were doing in the beginning because bad form, too much weight, misconceptions. For the first year and a half, even a few, maybe there's still some we believe to this day, that are prohibiting us from getting any further. But that's why for me, I want to communicate with as many people as I can, and I want to kind of embed this love for fitness in other teenage guys particularly, so that they don't have to feel like they're weak, powerless, and just show them that they can always be better.
Yep. And the reason why I play a role in Kings of Olympia is it was because I originally just wanted to, John was like, I run this fitness page, and he's I forget what the question was that you asked me, but you basically ended up asking me if I wanted to get any of my physique pictures up there. And I said, yeah, absolutely. So then he started posting them, and then what was it, maybe half a year or so, maybe almost a year later, then I eventually got on the page and I started playing a larger
yeah, it
role.
was only like, it was mainly because I had a phone problem and I couldn't post, so I gave him the credentials. And then at that point, I'm like, he and I were best friends. There's no way I'm going to be like, look, I'm changing the password. You're off of this. And it has been incredibly beneficial to have 2 page admins, because then he can post when I can't post, and we can just get different insights. And then it's not like it's an inconvenience, but I don't have to ask for his photos. He has his own photos, and we can just post accordingly to different times and whatnot. But I mean, it hasn't been like happier. It's been like more in the past 3 months, honestly.
Something like that. But then I started playing a larger role in Kings of Olympia like that. I started uploading photos. Whenever I got sick recently, he covered me when I was sick. When he had his knee surgery, I covered him. That it's great to have a page admin. And another thing is, I recently, like very recently, within the past week or so, I had a guy direct message me, or direct message us on Instagram, and he had some fitness questions. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. He's asking us for fitness questions. So I was like, I'll go ahead and answer the direct messages. He usually handles direct messages, but then I decided I was going to jump in and handle it. So I was like, okay, let me give this a shot. So I started answering some of his questions. I don't remember exactly what his questions were, but he was a really nice guy, and he was just inquiring things about form, how to get stronger, how to get bigger, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, holy crap, this guy is looking for training advice from us. That means he sees something in us that he looks up to. So naturally, I'm like, okay, what have I done in the past to get to where I am today? And I think his question was, how did you get so lean, or something like that, or how did you get so big, or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what it was. I answered his question, and then I went ahead and I was like, so do you want some of my training advice so you can reach your goals? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And so I just sent a couple of paragraphs. By the way, Instagram, it's a pain in the butt to have limited characters, so remove that, please. But I went ahead and I sent him a couple of paragraphs with advice in them, and he ended up, at the end of the paragraphs I sent, he said, thank you so much, this means a lot, all that other stuff. And he basically gave him tips to get stronger and more endurance, all that kind of stuff. The big 3, squat, bench, and deadlift, all that great stuff, because he was a beginner lifter. And I gave him as much help as I could. And he thanked me for it, and I said, hey, if you have any questions or you need any help with anything else, please check back with us, because we'll answer more of your questions. I said, usually you'll probably get John, the main manager of the DMs, and sometimes you'll get me. And I said, but we can clarify who we are over the direct messages, which we usually do, by the way.
Yep.
But I ended up helping the guy with his fitness, and then that was the point that I messaged you, and I said, bro, I think you were reading the direct messages whenever I was sending them, weren't you?
I was in the middle of the conversation.
He was
myself.
hovering over it.
Yep.
And so I was like, I messaged him just to make sure he was seeing all of it, and then I said, bro, we need to make training programs. But we make programs, we help people, and I think that's one of the big reasons why we're doing Kings Olympia right now, is because we love helping you guys. I'll let you talk about like the funny things we did in the story and like why we did that.
Yeah.
Like the Instagram stories.
Yeah. So it was last week? It was something like last week. We just started making videos. He was doing CrossFitter chin-ups just for kicks and giggles, and I was like, we should record that and put that on the story. So I started off, hey guys, we're the Kings of Olympia, or hey guys, what's going on, Kings of Olympia here? We're going to show you how to do proper chin-ups. And I turned the camera towards Egan, and he's just like flopping around like a dead fish. And I was like, Egan, what are you doing? And then he starts the proper form. He's like, chin-ups, why? That's what I thought.
And that was the start of a glorious series. With more coming out.
Yeah, we had 14 little videos on there. Unfortunately, if you missed them, you missed them. But we might reiterate them or republish what we have.
Or we may even put a video of them on this channel. We may. So look for that.
Yep. Anyway, guys, we're the Kings of Olympia, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next time.